I believe like with my sport, because of the amount of people that are involved in it, you're not just fighting the other guy that was trained by the other coach over there on the other side of the ring. You know, you're also fighting the referee. You're also fighting the judges. You're also fighting the fans around, the friends, the family, the ones that are booing at you. You suck and trying to get in your head while you're like 9 years old. We're just kids learning and fighting. What that did for me, it made me who I am in every aspect.
Pressure forges legends, but also pulls flaws into the light. Teofimo Lopez has always fought like time is chasing him down. Every step lands heavy. Every punch snaps fast. And that confidence he carries fills the room before he does.
Oh my God.
My father said, you got to be an entertainer. He was seeing everybody else, all the other kids. He knew I could beat every kid. However, he just wanted to add a little bit more sauce into me. And what was it? He said, be different, have fun, enjoy yourself, entertain. And I always had that in me. I started boxing at the age of 6, officially. But before that, my father had me fighting and doing taekwondo at 2 years old. So let's say from 2 all the way to 17, for 15 years, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't believe in myself like my father did. I did not. What my father instilled with me, and it stuck with me, were a lot of things that I could really say that has improved my living. Don't get hit. He always told me that. He's like, you know how to box, you know how to do this, just don't get hit. All he had to say was don't get hit, and I already knew what that.
Oh yeah. 1, 2. Right hand again. Give me that right hand, baby. Give me that right hand.
Don't show it.
Don't show it. Okay, go. Go.
Come over here.
Too fast for me. Go. Over there. That's it.
From Olympic lights to championship stages, his path has never slowed. It's always felt like pausing was never an option. He hunted this fight because Shakur represents the one thing Teofimo can't overpower with emotion alone: structure, control, discipline.
That's what we've been waiting for, man. Working on drills, foot drills, hand-eye reaction, everything. My guy, TA, Go Feet Formula, that's what's about to happen right now. I'm about to enter the whole matrix.
That's my boy. He was the one that started it. That's my boy.
So, like we already here. Fight week is on, and we at the UFC Facility Center. I've never seen him this great since right after the Olympics when he turned pro. Very explosive. But now it's a take back, and we just trying to focus on that and going to the next level, man, and taking over the 140 weight division. And that's what we focus on right now.
Their stories have been intertwined for years. Two Olympians, two fighters molded for the top, constantly mentioned together, yet never sharing canvas. Like twin tracks daring boxing to finally force an intersection. Teofimo thrives on shock and belief. Sudden eruptions that swing rounds and flip momentum in heartbeats. A fighter who feeds off tempo and response.
So it's really just trying to just keep it going, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You got to have fun with what you do. I love this. I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. This has been 20 years in the making, 20 years in this, and I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready, and emotionally, I'm on fire. I'm on fire with it, because all I ever did was try to be great, and it's no longer trying. I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get because tomorrow's never promised.
When everything clicks, like against Lomachenko or Josh Taylor, he looks unreachable, inventive, fearless, daring opponents to match his pace. Training now with his father, Lopez Sr., Teofimo sharpens himself for Stevenson. More rounds, tighter focus, cleaner combinations day after day. That's a Teofimo ride. Genius mixed with danger, brilliance that can dominate or collapse without warning. Always hunting the moment that turns a bout into a message.
I'll tell you like this. A lot of these people, they're so ambitious, and it's okay to be. You have to. But the thing is, sometimes you don't get it because you're probably not going to carry it the right way. You're probably not going to be a people's champ. You're probably just going to spend all your money, like a lot of these fighters do, on yourself rather than giving back. You know, it's all about being a people's champ. Muhammad Ali was the greatest of all time for those things, you know, and he made a strong, strong impact in this sport.
That's two.
True mastery doesn't shout. It repeats. Shakur Stevenson has approached this fight as if it was written long ago. Calm steps forward, no rush, no drift. Another Olympian, but wired the opposite way. Shakur learned early that boxing rewards a mind before the muscles. This matchup simmered for years because Shakur doesn't chase reputations. He pulls them toward him. And Teofimo has always been the loudest knock at the door.
How he stay long and keep that angle.
Yeah, he keep the angle.
Keep his head off the
Position,
fucking
man,
line.
just in case. Especially with somebody fast like him with timing. You can't be out of position.
Yeah.
He strong as hell. He picked me up in there. It was fun though. Just to be in the ring with him, share the ring with him, test his IQ out a little bit, see some of the moves he doing, and I'm gonna go take with me when I go fight. So I appreciate Dre.
You gonna run it back again?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Shakur's craft is about removal. He erases space, choices, and belief until opponents swing at nothing and question their own rhythm. He isn't chasing highlights. He's collecting minutes, stacking round with precision, crisp counters, and footwork that feels cruel when you're trying to catch it. Along that road, Shakur gathered elite insight, learning from voices like Andre Ward, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, and Terrence Crawford. A rare mix of wisdom shaping his plan for Lopez. Losses haven't shaped him because errors don't linger. He adjusts, tightens, and returns sharper. Shakur wants this fight because Teofimo is disorder, and Shakur built his identity on proving that disorder, no matter how gifted, can be decoded.
I was looking at
It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cole gonna break some. And if he don't break some shit, he gonna beat the fuck out of him. Over this. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh.
What in reverse?
We don't care who it is. We have no friends. Shakur, if his cousin get in the ring, he gonna get this smoke. If his brother get in the ring, he gonna get this smoke. We have no friends. Strictly.
Tarver framed it perfectly, calling this a chess match wearing the mask of a war. And that landed. He kept circling one truth. If Shakur manages distance and claims the center, the knight bends his way. If Teofimo forces bursts and closes space, he tilts everything. Tarver also highlighted the quiet details people forget when debates get loud. Conditioning, mental clarity, daily habits that keep a fighter sharp.
If you see Shakur controlling the distance, giving him angles, keeping that fight sort of in the middle, you got to favor Shakur. But if he's on the back foot, if he's on the ropes, I mean, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunity.
And those details matter most when rounds 9 through 11 feel like oxygen. He described Teofimo as a sequence puncher, someone who links both hands and turns clean exchanges into chaos. That's why Tarver warned Teofimo must apply pressure in waves, not reckless surges, where Shakur drags him into a long, punishing night.
Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight. He throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in.
Timing, counters, and now the frame to carry weight at 140. When Shakur performs like he did against Zepeda, he turns elite fighters into ordinary ones. Tarver's bottom line was simple: favor the technician if the plan holds. Fear the brawler if Teofimo takes over the night. And understand this moment reshapes both careers.
It could be, leaning toward becoming the face of boxing, because with Shakur being undefeated, having a big name like Teofimo Lopez on his record, hey, he's going to have to then.
Right after Tarver set the tone by saying Teofimo must reach his most dangerous form just to crack Shakur's puzzle, Wade Plemons zoomed out and reminded everyone why this bout matters at all. He said it plainly: this is elite versus elite in their prime. Boxing almost never gives us that without years of delay. Wade stressed this isn't about dusty belts. It's about timing. And he's right. These two have known each other since the amateur days, circling forever, and now there's nowhere left to hide behind later.
In there with all these big names and see, can he beat one or two more guys and become the real fighter, the king around that 140, 147 division. It's a lot of action there, Mark.
When Wade broke down the face-off as the first mental exchange, it stood out. He wasn't hunting fake aggression. He watched posture, eye contact, who spoke past the interviewer instead of to them. That's where it tells live. He noted that Teofimo genuinely respects Shakur's skill, his movement, his inside-outside game, and that matters. Fighters who dismiss get embarrassed. Fighters who respect prepare. Wade also challenged boxing's obsession with spotless records and shiny hardware over real opponents. That hit because Teofimo already proved he'll take the fire by facing Lomachenko, Taylor, anyone dangerous.
Shakur has the same opportunity. This is Shakur's toughest test, no doubt about it. The Williams-Zepeda fight was a tough test because of the style of fight that Zepeda brings, but Zepeda is not the boxer that Teofimo Lopez is. It's just not even close to the same category of boxing ability, technique, skill, experience, higher level. Like, it's not even close. So Shakur is going to have to answer those questions as well. If he believes, and he does, that he's the best in the world, this is how.
But Wade didn't give Shakur a free pass. He said straight up this is Shakur's defining test. The fight where greatness has an answer back against someone who can punch and think. When he addressed the weight question, whether Shakur can truly carry it at 140, you could hear the doubt without disrespect. This isn't theory anymore. This is reality. And the sharpest line came when Wade said stop pretending Zepeda and Teofimo belong in the same discussion. That's boxing fantasy. In his view, this fight isn't about noise or social media bravado. It's about whether Shakur's control survives a fighter who refuses to be starved, and whether Teofimo's ambition stays disciplined long enough to matter. That's not hype. That's pressure. And pressure reveals truth.
Traps for Teo in the fight continuously, and then eventually turn the temperature down on Teo and essentially try to starve him, right? Starve him of punches, starve him of volume, starve him of momentum and rhythm, right? Like, Teo's a big-time rhythm.
Right after Wade framed this as a battle of timing, ego, and readiness, Breadman Edwards stepped in like the calm voice who's already seen this film play out. He warned against the disrespect, saying acting like Shakur will just walk through Teofimo is how people end up embarrassed later. He acknowledged the obvious. Shakur's consistency is elite. You know exactly what level you're getting every time. That reliability is why odds lean his way. Then he flipped the script and reminded everyone why Teofimo is a nightmare when locked in. Athleticism, explosion, confidence. When those align, things get dangerous fast.
Feet, with his movement, once he gets in that flow, it's a little bit tough to stop that ball rolling down the hill. If Shakur can just be an interrupter in this fight and interrupt timing, interrupt rhythm, interrupt momentum, I could see that being the way he wants to approach it and frustrate.
The basketball comparison said it all. Shakur is the guy who gives you 25 every night. Teofimo is the one who might give you 10 or might drop 50 and burn the building down. That isn't inconsistency. That's volatility. And volatility wins when it peaks at the right moment. Breadman also touched on an uncomfortable truth. Teofimo doesn't shrink under bright lights. He's shown up against Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, even Barbosa, and that matters more than clean scorecards. At the same time, he didn't hide the risk. Teofimo struggles chasing movers, pressing instead of lining opponents up, and that's exactly where Shakur lives. That's the warning sign.
You a basketball analogy.
Right.
Shakur Stevenson averaged about 25 points a game, right? But every game he scored about 23, 24, 27, 28. He just have a good baseline. With Teofimo averaged about 22 points a game. Some games he only have 10, but other games he got 50.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
The reality is the fighters who gave Teofimo movement, the ones he had to hunt down, those are the nights he struggled. When opponents came forward and let him set traps, his counters came alive. He's clearly more comfortable when fighters meet him rather than when he has to stalk and cut them off.
Is that the guys who've given Teofimo movement and the guys who've tried to that he's tried to press, he hasn't looked good. But when he's made fighters come to him and he could kind of like line them up for his counter punches a little bit better. So he's obviously a fighter that likes you to come to him more than a fighter that likes to come to you and kind of...
This fight isn't about bullying Shakur or muscling him around. It's about whether Teofimo can pull Shakur into his rhythm without losing discipline. Breadman wasn't saying pick Teofimo. He was saying respect the ceiling. Because if Teofimo hits one of those 50-point nights, safe predictions disappear fast. This isn't about who looks smoother shadow boxing online. It's about identity under stress. Teofimo has always chased moments, the night where chaos overwhelms control and belief turns into force. Shakur chases mastery, the slow squeeze of mistakes, pressure that doesn't explode but never leaves. Every voice we heard, Tarver, Wade, Breadman, circles the same truth from different angles. If Shakur keeps it tight, clean, and structured, this becomes a long night of frustration. If Teofimo finds rhythm without losing shape, everything can flip in seconds. There's no comfort here, no easy script. Just two Olympians who've orbited each other for years, finally colliding while they're still sharp, hungry, and dangerous. That's why this fight matters. Because however it breaks, someone's story changes forever. Drop your take in the comments. Debate it for real. Shakur's control versus Teofimo's volatility. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.